everyone, I'm Angela and this is another worship moment tutorial. This is actually the second in a series on Jesus, strong and kind. So the second lesson today. In the first lesson we learned the beautiful introduction. Today we're learning the verse, which is very similar, and then hopefully getting on to the chorus. And by the end of this you should be able to play a version of this along with other people, singing together, or just in your own worship or for church. I hope you'll enjoy learning it and adapt it to your own needs, and let me know how you get on. So last time we learned the introduction, which will be linked in the description, so do check that out. The introduction sounded like this. So for the verse, we're going to be doing very much the same thing. The key that we're in is C major. All right, so let's get learning the verse. It's going to be very similar to how we started before. So we have the right hand playing 3 Gs while the left hand's playing a C chord, and then a C with an E bass now. So E together. And the left hand actually plays the C. And then we jump down to the F chord, but this time I want you to put your thumb on the A, so it's a 10. And we're just going to stop on that note, and then we're going to play the chord just like before. So the only difference there was that instead of playing an 8th, which would still work, this time we're playing a 10th. So we're going up to the A. If that stretch is a little hard for you, just move your 4th finger up or stick to the 8th for now. Okay, so just as before, that's going to be . So just went up to that A. Now for the second part, it's actually a little bit easier because this time, instead of playing those big chords, I'm just going to play a bass note in the left hand of an A, and then a G, and then I'm going to play my C triad that goes down and up again. In the right hand, I'm going to play 2-1 on C to E. I'm going to place the neighbor down on D and place my thumb back on the E, and then just so. And with that, I've just got my A note. And then I'm going to play the C. So that ending, the right hand was just C, E, D, back to the E, and repeat the E. The left hand played an A with the first note. This D, it plays a G, and on the second E here it plays the C chord. Do that with me after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the whole of the verse. Remember, the one difference was stretching up to the F and then just playing a single note on the A and the G. Okay, so let's do that. exact same beginning part for the next half of the verse. So the stretch, just the A. But this time I want you to place the third on the C as well, because with the right hand we're going to go 2 on the C, and then we're going to place 2 fingers down on the in a scale on the D and C. Play the thumb on the E, and there's 2, and then we're going to have 2 C's with the third and second. So C, E, D, C, C. So we play 3, 1, place down to 3, place second, third, and repeat that note with the second finger. And with that we're playing the A, G comes with the D, and on the second C we play the chord, the triad. But it go down again. So back up and down. Let's play the whole second half of the verse. Stretch the A, C, play the A with the C, place down to the third, try it up and down. Good, that's the whole verse. So it's quite similar, but adding that little A in is quite nice. Another thing you could do is potentially, if it gets a bit repetitive with the 3 or 4 verses, move up an octave in the right hand. That's really nice as well. And of course you can always just play a single note rather than a whole run with the left hand at times to add variation. So let's do the whole verse after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verse 2 is exactly the same. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I said, just to let you know again, you can of course do the variation on this, which is to move it up an octave, which would sound something like this. It depends if you want to move both hands up. I might move both up just to see what happens. So I think what I would do is probably the first 2 times keep it down low, and then maybe when I was doing this for the verse 3 I might move it up, or maybe for verse 4 and then maybe move back down again. So you can play around with this, or you could have a verse where you're not playing and other instruments are playing, or you're singing a cappella, or you could just do it the same way every time. Yeah, just enjoy the worship, meditate on the words, and enjoy the playing. That is verse 1 and 2 done, and the introduction done. So we're going to go on now to the chorus. For the Lord is good and faithful. He will keep you day and night. We can always run to Jesus. Jesus, strong and kind. So we have the 3 and 2 around the black and our thumbs on the A. We're going to play up. And then we're going to place those fingers back, but also our fourth finger on the D. So we're skipping the black string and we're coming back down on the beat. And then we're just going to play an E with our second finger. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, replace, and the E. So the 3 fingers up, put the 4 fingers down, and play them down. And that last one had 2 beats on the faithful. Okay, and then the same thing happens again, the 3 fingers up, He will keep, place again, day and nights. Let's play all of that together. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and we'll start on 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Let's do that again. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and then we start on the You Can Always Come, which we're going to start by placing 3 fingers down in a scale from the C above middle C. Okay, You Can All. And then we put our thumb on that A. And we're going to have that same shape with the A, G, skip the F, E, D, that 4-finger shape. And place the second on the E. So we had the 3 notes down to A, C, C, B, A. Then we placed the 4 with that kind of donut, skipping the F. Came down. There was a weight on that F, and then the C. So let's do that after 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And then this ending is just like the ending of the verse. So we have the C, E, and the 3 notes down. That Jesus, strong and kind. So the C to the E with our second and thumb. Place 3 fingers down to the C. Play down. And that's the 3rd finger and 2nd finger on that C. So we had for the second half of the chorus, the 3 down from the C. Donut shape from the A, second finger on the E, and then the ending. Let's do the whole chorus after 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And that E, same thing again, donut shape, one, 2 and 3 and 3 notes down from the C. Don't add shape. And the E. And we're getting ready for the ending. Maybe a little faster this time. 1, 2, 3. Let me play it through for you. Okay, so let's put the left hand together with the right hand. So we're going to have, the left hand is playing this, the right hand starts with those 3 notes. And on that A, the left hand's going to play a 1, 5, 8, F, C, F. And then it's just going to play the C on its own. So it goes. We're just going to play a G on the left hand, and then we're going to play a C with the E. So the left hand had an F, 1, 5, 8, then the C, G, C. Let's try that together after 3. 1, 2, 3. Then it repeats. This time we're going to play the G 1, 5, 8. Back up and down. Because the first time we went G, C. The second time we went 1, 5, 8 and back down. So G, D, G, D, G. Let's try the whole thing after 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. Then we have this E at the bottom with our C. It's a really nice passing note. Just playing that E. Use your second finger or your thumb if you want to, or your fourth. I tend to use my fourth just because of the stretch, but it's up to you. And then the F chord again. And the C. Now this time I'm going to do a 1, 5, 10 on the G. So G, D, B with my thumb. If that's too big of a stretch, just stay on the G. But it's quite nice with that. And then a 158 on the A. So A, E, A. So that went with the E at the bottom. And the F chord. C. The G with the 10th. And the normal 158 A minor. And we have our ending with just an F, 158. And this time I'm going to do a 5th, a G and a D with my left hand. And you can choose what you want to do on the end there with the C. Might go straight into the introduction again. So let's try that whole second half of the chorus. 1, 2, 3. The G10. The A. F chord. 5th with the G. Let's play the whole chorus. 1, 2, 3. Now that ending, you might want to go. So you might want to go something like this. Jesus strong, and then go straight into the introduction. So as you're singing the note kind, you may immediately start that introduction. So yeah, that's the whole of the chorus. Right, I might try and play the whole thing through for you, just kind of talking through it a little bit and putting the pieces together. So let's see if we can do that. So we started with the introduction. you enjoy playing this, and I'm very, very much looking forward to hearing your feedback on how it goes. Any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm active in there, and tag me on socials, on Instagram and Facebook if you do play it. I'd love to hear, or on YouTube. And yeah, I look forward to hearing how this goes. Any requests for future tutorials, let me know. Have a blessed time of worship at the harp, and I will see you in the next tutorial.